Aerosmith on the Q96.5 FM. And as I told you and I promised you before, I have a girl named Tom with me on the Zoom mobile here today on this Wednesday morning. And guys, first of all, welcome back into the Dome.
Thank you, Jim. So good to be here.
It's good to be here.
Man, it is good to see you guys. And I'm going to start it out with the way that I just kind of left you a minute or so ago. You guys came in here the very first time because I knew a couple of folks that knew a couple of folks that knew a couple of folks. How's that? Half of them related to you. All right. And the very first time you walked out of my studio, I had goosebumps that were, they were pretty good size. Okay. And the other night on The Voice, those goosebumps were the size of golf balls, guys. I can't tell you how proud I am of you.
It's such a good expression. That's very kind.
It's easy, man. It is very easy to have those kind of conversations with somebody as talented as what you guys are. All right. I think everybody in Northwest Ohio already know that what has happened to you. But I want to go back a little ways. Okay. How did this all happen? I can remember, I don't know what it's been, about a year or so ago, when I would send you guys a message or two and you'd say, got a lot of good things going on out here. We'll get back to you soon. I'm looking forward to being on the show one of these days, but we'll get back to you soon. A lot of good things going on back here, but we'll get back to you soon. So, okay. What all happened back then? How did all this happen, guys?
Well, we never really thought about auditioning for The Voice or anything like that until we got an email from Molly B, who was our mentor. And she sent us the email that the auditions are closing soon. It was back in January. The auditions are closing soon for The Voice. And all you have to do is send in a video. And so because it was like virtual casting or whatever, they're making that first decision virtually. So we were like, okay, why not? Let's try to do send a video, see what they think. And so sure enough, we did that.
It's very non-committal.
We were like, why not? And so we did. And then eventually, like, we did make it past the next stage and the next stage. And then suddenly they wanted us to come to LA.
Before we knew it, we were getting a phone call saying, hey, we'd love to fly you out here and put you up and get you on our show. And we were like, okay.
Yeah. I was very shocked, honestly. But,
very shocked. You guys are very, very modest and humble, and that's another thing that we love about you. But yeah, I wasn't shocked.
wow.
You guys are good.
It's been a several month process, and so we're so glad to finally be able to sit down with you and discuss it all with you, because we've been sitting on a lot of these secrets for a long time.
Breaking the radio silence, as they say.
Good. That is good. And I'm glad you're breaking the radio silence here with me today. So, all right. So they call it, they send you through several different legs of this, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say, we're bringing it to LA. When was that? About what time frame was that?
I think we got the call in March. And then we actually headed out there last week of May.
Wow. So you went out the last week of May out to LA. And treated like stars at that point in time. Was there a limo at the airport waiting for you and all that kind of stuff? A girl named Tom and all those kind of things.
Yeah, there's a hot tub in the limo too.
Yeah.
No, sir.
I mean,
no, we can't complain. I mean, everything was very, very set out for us, and we were very comfortable the whole time.
There were parts that were glamorous, and there were parts that were very not glamorous too. The very not glamorous start was the 7 days of quarantine that we had to go through when we got out there.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. So COVID just took away some of the glamour, but it was really fun we had our own drivers, when we go to Universal, like a couple times a week, that was really cool. Being driven over there, and that was like our workspace, heading to the office. Yeah.
And like as musicians, you dream of being able to eat, sleep, breathe music. And so we really were given that. There wasn't anything else to do, really. Mm-hmm. And so that opportunity just really felt good to musicians, and the fact that they called us out there to do it. Mm-hmm. And it was just a very, we're in the right place. We're doing the right thing with our careers.
Validating
experience, mm-hmm. for sure. And then to be able to talk with other musicians and hear their stories, where they came from, why they sing. It was really a rich time, getting to know those other people too.
Mm-hmm.
What video did you guys submit to The Voice for them to look at? The one that you did, Helplessly Hoping, or did you do send them something else?
That was one of them. Yeah, we sent them Helplessly Hoping. We sent them Carolina on My Mind, Evergreen.
Initially, we only had 30 seconds or 45 seconds to impress.
Yeah.
And so we made it a shortened arrangement of Evergreen, which if you haven't heard Becca sing Evergreen, you should look that up. But that was our initial audition video. And that's the one that caught their interest. And so then they asked us to send 3 or 4 more.
Like full songs
then, where we chose some other videos. And Helplessly Hoping was actually one of those videos. Yeah.
All I Ask too. We did. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. How many applications were there for this? How many people were trying out for this? Do you have any feel? Did they tell you that at all?
They say like 40,000 per season audition.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the competition wasn't all that stiff?
Oh,
it was a breeze.
No, yeah, it's really humbling, and I don't know, we're in awe of that fact that there's so many talented folks all across the country. And then only about 90 to 100 got flown out to LA. And among those 90 to 100,
it is the cream
of the crop. And so we were a little intimidated the first couple weeks out there with those other voices.
Yeah.
Stunning.
How much interaction do you have with those other musicians that are there that you're competing with? A lot?
Yeah. There's a lot of free time in between work. We're all in the same hotel. There's game nights. There was church in the parking lot, organized by the contestants. Yoga. We played soccer
kickball.
With a lot of kickball. So yeah, it was kind of like summer camp. As you're going about your week, everybody's going through the same interviews, the same processes, wardrobe, and hair and makeup rehearsals. So that's a real fun thing to go through together and talk about your experiences. Oh, how was that for you? And overwhelmingly, Jim, the spirit was so positive. Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna do great. It was so lifting each other up, not trying to build yourself up. I mean, it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
I did not expect that at all. I thought people would be in it for themselves. I thought they would be very, full of themselves,
combative,
cutthroat, competitive. But really, genuinely, people wanted each other to succeed, and it's still that way as we're watching each other's blind auditions on the air now. It's so fun to see those moments and pull for each other.
Now, you were the very first one on the very first night, okay?
Yeah.
Was it that way were you the very first to audition then for them as well? Or was this just a massive event that went on and they just grabbed you and you ended up being accidentally the number one on the list?
The way the auditions are set up, they audition us all during one of the weeks in the summer. Okay. And so we didn't actually know that we would end up airing first. So to see that really caught us off guard, and our family, we were in shock. The fact that we just started walking up on stage shortly after the coaches finished their version of Respect, it blew us away. And it was an honor to open up season 21 for sure.
Wow. It was incredible. And I have a couple people that are mad at me because when I was trying to figure out what night you were going to be on, they would tell me, well, it could be Monday, could be Tuesday. You understand that drill, I'm sure, because I understand that drill. All right. And I had one guy that missed you who is still not forgiven me to this moment because he missed you on that first night. Okay. And Tommy will be in again tomorrow, and I will have to take a lot of riding again because he missed you the first night. And I said, well, what can I do, old timer? You just got to watch, you just got to watch a little more, that's all you got to do. But what a shocker, because even I could expect you to be in there that night, but like you said, to be the very first one, holy smokes, what a way to open.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Super humbling. And to not have any parts of our story included was very interesting. Because it's been the only segment that hasn't had any storyline attached to it. So they must be waiting for the battle round.
Yeah. Now, you guys haven't seen really the final production of this whole thing. I mean, as far as the way that it all lays out to the end, right? You know what you've done and you know what the conclusions were, I'm sure, but you've not really seen how it's all going to be packaged together and programmed so we can watch it, have you?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, we're watching as fans along with you all because it's really interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, it is. All right, Caleb, tell me a little bit, man, because you got to open that thing. You're standing on that stage, you got the guitar, okay? If you hit the first 3 notes in the wrong key or kind of misfret or whatever, it all's going down and you're coming back to Pettysville, Ohio, okay?
Oh you're hitting all the right buttons here. This is you're putting me
triggering him again.
Yeah. I'm feeling nervous all over again. You're exactly right. All that was running through my mind, and actually, like all that ran through my mind for about a second when we're standing there up on the stage in complete darkness and complete silence, because the crowd is totally quiet so that the coaches can't hear any reaction to the people on the stage. And so my mind started racing really fast and realizing that, you know, I could let down my siblings, I could let down the town, you know, and we had put in like months of work for this, you know, 2 minutes, and it was up to me. And I knew that even if I just messed up one note of the intro, it would throw us all off mentally. But yeah, it went well. Like at one point my hand started shaking, but I just made it start playing that thing and it worked out okay.
Oh.
I would say it probably helped that we have performed that song all across the country hundreds of times. And like you were so prepared for that high of pressure, like that high stakes moment.
Yeah, your hand knew what to do, even if your mind was going wild.
I just turned my mind off and
let your hand
cruise
work.
control.
Yeah.
But
man, he did a great job.
Man, he did a great job. We all did a great job. Okay, we heard about Caleb because I knew that, you know, the butterflies would be about the size of, you know, buzzards in his belly. How about Josh and Becca? What were you thinking? Because you're sitting waiting and you got a couple more seconds to have to wait before you have that opportunity to drop the ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
People say that with trios, often they say, oh, it's not fair because it's 3 people, you know, but there's also 3 times the likelihood that somebody's going to mess up. And we're just really glad that didn't happen on this one. And yeah, just really focused. Like we all had a spot that we were kind of looking to in the back of the audience that kind of helped with the gravity of the moment, like to not feel the pressure quite as much. Like if I can just look at this TV screen, this TV monitor at the back of this performing venue and just pretend that my parents and grandparents are in this building and just kind of block all the cameras and everything else out. I've sung this song so many times, like how could I mess it up?
Yeah.
that was kind of my perspective going out there. And so even when chairs started to turn, I was like, nope, we're staying locked on that spot. Like we're not messing this up. And so that's kind of how I went through it. But I mean, it was still, my legs were shaking and yeah, it was still very scary.
So describe for the folks that are watching, because from on the television side, it looks like you're in this massive event hall and you know, you've got these 4 chairs turned backwards and all that stuff. How big is this studio? How many people were in that watching you that night?
Let's see. I think there were about 200 people.
150.
That was 150.
150. Okay, 150.
They could have held more,
people.
but COVID.
Right. So
Yeah.
they had 150 people, and boy, that's what I was thinking about, Jim. I was thinking about, you know, I want to just sing to the people in the crowd because that's what I always do. And so it doesn't matter if the coaches like what they hear and turn their chair or not, as long as I can make someone, you know, turn their head and think, oh, this is a good song, or, you know, then I would leave the stage feeling good.
Yeah.
So that's literally what I was going for. Like, if the chairs turn, great, but either, I set the baseline kind of there that I'll sing to the crowd. And then whatever else happens is just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Man.
And it is a pretty big hall. Like it's, I think it would hold, like they said, like 300 people. And obviously with the production staff, there's people milling about everywhere. And
the lights and the
lights,
screens. It's as glorious as it looks from the TV. It feels like you're almost in a spaceship or something.
Yeah, in a Star Wars movie.
The ceiling is higher. You can barely see the top of the thing. I mean, it's just like it just ends.
Huge.
And there's a guy saying 30 seconds until next performance.
Yeah.
And you're sitting behind the red doors waiting to go on and just so nervous. It was wild, but I'm so glad we had each other because we really were able to talk each other off the cliff when we were, getting super nervous, and then to share that joy back in the van ride when you just turned 4 chairs was indescribable.
Yeah.
Indescribable. I would agree. All right, now let's talk about those 4 chairs turning around. Okay. All right. You may not have thought that all 4 were going to turn around, but I think everybody back in Northwest Ohio were expecting all 4 of those bad boys to turn around. How's that? Okay. We sat there and watched them. That was, I've seen you do Helplessly Hoping, I don't know, half a dozen times, okay, in different places. And you absolutely knocked it out of the park, first of all, that night. I've never seen you do it any better than you were that night. You were one voice that night. And watching the faces on those judges or those coaches before they turned that chair, you could just see every one of them was going to push the button. It was just a matter of when, okay? Did you have any idea that all 4 were going to turn, first of all? And secondly, the $1 million question that I was told by everybody I had to ask you, this Kelly Clarkson thing, okay? Were you hoping that Kelly was the one to turn, or how did Kelly become the one that you eventually picked?
Good questions.
Yeah, we were very surprised that all 4 turned around because, each of those artists is so different. So the fact that they saw something in our voices and liked the song, even though I mean that Helplessly Hoping does go across the genres. It really bridges a lot of rock and whatever folk. Yeah, so the song was just perfect for us. I'm glad that everyone liked it. But why did we choose Kelly? Let's see.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a surprise to get the 4 chairs. And we did not go in with Kelly as our number 1 necessarily. We had a list in our mind, but once we heard all of their pitches for us, and spent 10 minutes listening to them argue over us, it kind of totally reset our brains. And by the end of that, we didn't know what to think or who to choose exactly, because they all seemed like great options for different reasons. And like Becca said, they're all very different artists in their own lanes, in their own rights, and they have different experiences, different connections, different repertoire. And so, and they all had valuable things to say to us. And on the TV airing, you only heard, 5 minutes or 3 minutes of what they said, but they spoke for quite a long time to us. And so in the end, we chose Kelly because she was such a positive energy in the room, and it was clear she was enthusiastic about us and was going to really fight for us and believe in us. And I think it's become clear as we've watched further episodes how committed she is to our success, because she's very hesitant about taking other ensembles. Like a couple times I don't know if you've watched the other episodes, but there's been some other great ensembles, duos and trios, Audition. And she often says well, I didn't turn for you because I've got Girl Named Tom already, and I want them to make it as my trio. So I don't know. We kind of sensed that she was going to really care for us and fight for us, and so we had to choose her.
Wow, that is totally amazing. Well, I think it's a good choice. Okay, I've had people. Andy Briggle next door said he expected it was going to be John Legend. Okay.
Yeah.
An Ohio guy, gospel type roots, kind of that style that you do oftentimes. Okay. And so you surprised Andy beyond belief. How's that?
Our mom too expected us to take John Legend, or she was hoping, she dreamed we would.
He's so kind and like just such a great down to earth guy. Oh yeah, it was a very tough decision.
No bad options,
Yeah.
really.
No, you had no bad options. I would agree with you 100%. So on the stage there, since they cut everything out, was there a period of time where you all three put your heads together and said, "Oh, here we go. Which one are we going to pick?"
Yes, we did. And in that moment, I was wanting to go with Blake. Caleb was wanting to go with John. And Josh was wanting to go with Kelly. So how does that add up? Guess we should go with Mariana.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, really.
with all the pressure of having the coaches just sitting there
waiting.
like all these people that we respect just like quietly sitting there, and like all the audiences like
They're chanting. They're like,
feel the buzz.
They're choose Blake, choose John. All the audiences, and then the cameras all around, and we're like, it feels like such a big decision there. But at the end of the day, like I said, there are no bad options. But we felt like since Kelly was the most passionate, we just went with her.
Yeah. Great option, no doubt. All right, I need to pay some bills, guys. So I'm going to keep for another 10 minutes or so. Is that okay?
That's great.
Sounds good.
I know you got a lot of things going on today, and I can't just totally have all of your time today. But what I can do is I'm going to take as much as I can. But if I don't play some commercials every now and then, they don't pay me around here, okay?
That's right.
You old guys got to have a paycheck, right?
Yeah, yes, that's right.
10:26 on the queue. I've got a girl named Tom with me here on this Wednesday. Back here on the queue with a girl named Tom, and I've got a couple questions that are down here. I think I got a couple of them already done, but one wanted to know about why you picked "Helplessly Hoping" as the song that night.
It's a great question. We like to say we have three big reasons. Primarily, we wanted something that showed our harmony and how we can mix our three distinct voices into one. That was our goal number one. We can show off Becca and Josh's voices later, but we thought it was important to hit them hard with three-part harmony, like only siblings can do. And another big reason was our love for the 60s music and that hippie music and Crosby, Stills and Nash era. So we wanted to bring that back to younger generations. And with the numbers on YouTube and Facebook, it looks like the, old folks and young folks alike are liking that choice. So that's exciting. And thirdly, the meaning of the song, in the verses, it's kind of mysterious. We don't really exactly know what Stephen Stills was talking about in the verses, but it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
And then in the chorus is, the symbolism of being for each other. Yeah.
One person, two alone, three together, for each other.
Just works great for trio.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
It was ironic with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young that while they were three, they were really good. When they put that fourth guy in there, when Neil came on board, they had all kinds of problems. So they were one person, they were two alone, they were three together, but that fourth one, they weren't always for each other. How's that?
They were four apart.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was the way they were, but that's okay too. So you hit on it a little bit before, but somebody wanted to know how long really was that whole process? Was it 15 minutes for that audition, that first one? Was it? Because we saw it, like you said, Caleb, like 3 or 4 minutes, but there was no other songs. You didn't sing anything else. It was just that one song, right?
Just that one song.
I think it was probably 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. Because there was so much banter. Like they just kept going on, and like, yeah, it was really cool.
But our part, the part where we were performing, was only 1.5 minutes long.
Okay.
And so all the other time we were on the stage was because the coaches were chatting it up.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a situation. What a program. Had you watched The Voice in the past? Were you Voice fans?
When we were growing up, like a long time ago, Whoa.
Sorry.
A long time
that
ago.
was Ellen down there that was doing that. She wanted to remind you that yes, you were big fans of The Voice. You've always watched it. It's #1 and with a bullet at your house at the Lichty home, and all of your uncles and aunts and everybody else always watched it. All right, thanks Ellen for that little buzzer. We got it all figured out.
That was my fault.
We
But for
really
real, we were
loved
big
it.
fans.
Yeah, we were big fans. Like
Yeah.
the first number of seasons, like back with CeeLo and Adam and
Christina, yeah.
yeah.
And man, that really instills in my heart, little girl's heart. I was like, oh, I would die to be on that stage, Oh. So that really started. If you guys ever watch The Voice and think, man, I've got to be on that stage.
No.
No, I was just like, oh, that would be really scary.
I was like, maybe I could be in the band sometime.
Oh.
That would be cool.
But it was fun.
All right, you need since you are fans and you name dropped a lot there, Becca. Would there be another coach from the past maybe that you would have wished was here this time to pick? I mean, like a CeeLo Green or somebody like that. Would there have been somebody else?
I really would love to work with Alicia Keys.
Mm.
She has just this aura about her. She's very, I don't know, in tune with, I think she's awesome.
Very spiritual
She's
with
very
music.
she realizes that music is not just a sound, it's a feeling, and she goes for that. And so I really would love to meet her someday or work with her. But yeah,
Mhm.
they've had a lot of great coaches on here.
Yeah. Of all the four coach options, though, I think this is one of the best groupings that they've had, like in terms of diversity, age differences, and like just mega stars. So it's really cool to be on season 21. I'm glad we're on this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys still writing your own music nowadays?
We're taking a little break at this moment with the big show coming up and the whole voice thing, but that's still our passion, is to write our music, and we still have a lot of music that has not been recorded. And so soon we hope to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be our priority once this voice thing ends. Yeah, just get in the studio and keep that momentum going if you can. And let people know that we're songwriters at our core, and not just cover artists. Yeah.
Well, I think for any of those, I mean, and as you went through the progression right now, I hope that some of the coaches got to hear some of your music, because some of the songs you've written and the way you perform them are pretty much right there on that same level with Helplessly Hoping. So I hope you've been able to share with some other folks.
Thank you. That's
that
a huge
touches our
compliment.
hearts. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let me ask you this: you are playing out. You've got a show this week on Friday. It's all sold out. Surprise, surprise, surprise! You're the hottest guys in town. Last week I tried to get an interview, and they're going to do LA and New York and everybody else. There was like 400,000 different people wanting you last week, so I waited till this week, which is fine. Okay, and I was happy that you aren't totally worn out, but you do have a show. It's all sold out, but people can still enjoy it, right? You're going to stream this thing.
Yes, I think you can find information about that on Goshen.com or something, .edu.
Girlnametom.com is a great place for it too. You can go to girlnametom.com and our events page. You can find there's 2 events now. Originally there was just the in-person event, but since that's been sold out, we've added an online event as well for obviously the exact same time. So you can join in from anywhere you are in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At Goshen College, which the 2 guys are both grads of, and Becca was talking about going there. Have we postponed that for a while, Becca? They're going to school, maybe?
Yep.
Enough said.
For just a little while. That's good. Well, it is always wonderful to see you guys, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch the episodes as we go through this season. We all can't wait. We're all there sitting on pins and needles. I can tell you everybody in Northwest Ohio is all abuzz. If they didn't know Girl Named Tom before, a couple of weeks ago now, they sure know them now. And we're all proud of you. And we all got our fingers crossed. And we're all hoping that at the very end, you're going to be the one. I have never watched The Voice. I don't even know how this whole thing plays out. So Ellen will be happy to know that there are 2 viewers at the Funderburg house that have never watched The Voice in the past. That'll be hanging on every word until the very last one, when they crown you the kings of The Voice.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah.
We love representing Northwest Ohio, and we hope we do a good job.
Yeah.
You do. All right, guys. I'm sure they showed the pictures of the folks and the family. Is that one? The one question too, was that a girlfriend that we saw in that picture as well, Josh? Somebody asked me.
That was actually my girlfriend. One of my best friends and my girlfriend got to come along with our cousin.
Yeah.
And no, neither of our grandmas came.
No, they didn't. They didn't want to be on television.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was the other question that I had to ask you, because they wondered, somebody had heard that Josh had a girlfriend and they thought maybe that was Josh's girlfriend. So the sly one, the quiet one, okay, the leader of the band there, the guy that's in the background all the time, hitting all those pretty notes on that guitar to make everything start right, also has a beautiful young lady by his side. Man, Caleb, you're my idol. You're my hero, brother. You're my hero.
You're too kind, man. You're my hero.
Girl named Tom, thank you. I have enjoyed our conversation so much. Best of luck to you guys. And make sure you save me a week in August for this next year, okay? And when you get back to town, make sure you get in here and show your smiling faces here at the radio station.
That's
Awesome.
right. Can't wait, Jim. Thanks so much.
All right, Girl Named Tom here on the queue. We're back into Classic Hits. I've got a short day today because I'm going to go play golf. But boy, isn't it fun to see these guys again doing their thing nationally, making us all proud in Northwest Ohio. Classic Hits 96.5 FM, 20 till 11.